How's everyone doing? This is Puck at Puck Properties, and today I want to go over the 5 things that you need to do before you buy your first home. Before you buy a home, this process can feel daunting because you don't know what you don't know, and buying a home can be a lot of steps. So let's break that down a little bit. So if you follow these, this will put you in the right direction to buying a home someday. All right, let's dive into step number 1. And what you want to do is you want to accurately track your finances. Now, even if you weren't buying a house, I would say this is a good suggestion in general. But you'll want to know what you can spend, obviously, and you can always do this the old school way. I mean, people write it in journals, they use spreadsheets. But in the modern era, we have a lot of apps. All right, let's dive into step number 1. And what you want to do is you want to accurately track your finances. Now, even if you weren't buying a house, I would say this is a good suggestion in general. But you'll want to know what you can spend, obviously, and you can always do this the old school way. I mean, people write it in journals, they use spreadsheets. But in the modern era, we have a lot of apps. Like if you did a search in general, I could find you 9 free apps online that are credible that you can use for your finances. Now, I've used Every Dollar in the past. I currently use Mint, and they do a good breakdown of what I spend. Now, even if I wasn't using that, my banking app will give me pretty accurate details what goes in and what goes out. I currently use Huntington Bank, and I like that. Credit cards are good. I have a Discover card that I use for the points, but I buy everything usually through a credit card, and then I pay it with my bank. But it'll do a breakdown. If I want to know how much I spent on clothing through my Discover card, it'll tell me. So any of those ideas will work, but you want to accurately track your expenses so you can have a real conversation when it comes to talking to a loan officer and finding out what you can spend. Step number 2, guys, you want to find yourself a good real estate agent. Now, there's a lot of real estate agents out there. What I define as a good one is a couple things. You want to get someone that knows the area that you want to move to, because that'll help. You want to know what the schools are, what constructions are coming close, what are the good streets to walk around on or close to a dog park. That'll be helpful. You want somebody who is going to be honest with you, and I know that's kind of silly saying that you even have to define that. But there's going to be a lot of rough conversations. I mean, you're going to have a lot of times where an agent will tell you bad news and you want them to reach out to you sooner than later. Obviously, being honest, you're going to have a lot of sensitive information you're going to share with them. They have a fiduciary responsibility to take that heart. Some do it better than others, so make sure you get an honest agent. It helps to get an agent that makes you feel like you are not pressured to. Once again, as an agent, as a realtor, they have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that that is covered. But sometimes in the rush of the process, you don't always feel that way. So make sure you get an agent that can make you feel that way. A good thing to know, when you are getting an agent for the first time and you're looking for your first home, you typically are not paying for that person. In 99% of the cases, that agent is being paid for by the person selling the home. The person that sells the home has their own agent they pay for. They also pay for the person that is helping them bring a sale. So you can use a lot of agents. You can talk to a lot of agents. You don't have to take the first one that you meet, or like somebody that's your cousin or someone you're related to or you're obligated to. Get someone that you feel good about and someone that will fight for you. So you have those choices. All right, step number 3, get yourself a good loan officer. Now, your real estate agent may already have a loan officer for you. If you got a good real estate agent, they might have a title company for you, they might have an inspection company for you, but if they get you this loan officer, this person will be able to look over your finances that you've already been tracking, and they will be able to tell you if you are ready to buy a home or not. Sometimes there'll be cases where you're not. You might be 3 months away, 6 months away, a year away, and they can put you on a plan. But what they can do is tell you, follow these steps, and we'll get you into that process so you can buy a home. They will also qualify you for how much you can afford. If they tell you can buy a house for $250,000, you should never be looking for houses that are $300,000. That would make no sense. All you do is see it, want it, and get disappointed. So follow their advice, but get yourself a good loan officer. All right, step number 4, you want to clearly define what you want in a home and then communicate that to your realtor. What I mean is you want to figure out things like, do you need an office that you can work remote from? Do you need a fenced yard, perhaps for a dog? Idea how many bedrooms, how many baths are helpful. Because if you write that down, you can give an honest assessment to not just your agent, but to yourself. When you start looking at homes, you might get distracted on things you do not need. You do not need a pool, perhaps. You may not need a sauna. You may not need a finished basement. So those are things that you'll be paying for, but you may not need. Now, when you define what you need, know that there's a chance that you may not find everything. But if you're close, they usually say about 85%, that's not bad for a first home. You're not going to live there forever, but you're wanting to move in, make some repairs, build equity so you can advance down the line. Step number 5, ask questions and just learn as much as you can during this process. Ask questions to your realtor, ask questions to your loan officer, for the person that helps you with inspections. You have friends, you have family that have done this before. Just try to get as much honest information as you can about this process. Down the line, your home will need things. You might need a new furnace, you might need a new roof. The rule of thumb on those kind of things is if you own a house, say for $250,000, 1% of that a year is what you're gonna be spending. And not always the case. You could go a couple years with no repairs, but then all of a sudden you need a roof. But the more you know about buying that process, it's gonna help you. So educate yourself, ask questions. And if you go to your realtor, ask the same question 3 times. Like, people come to me and I try to explain it to them like they're in 5th grade, and I do that respectfully just so they know. So do yourself a favor, educate yourself. All right, well, that was the 5 things you need to do before buying your first home. I appreciate you watching. If you like this content and you want more, please hit the subscribe button. Also, if you have suggestions beyond what I said, that would be super helpful. You can put in the comments below. Feel free to hit me up for questions. I can be reached at jmcnay@pivotrealty.com. So jmcnay@pivotrealty.com. All right, I appreciate you watching. Thank you.